Can you hear me good?
Yeah,
you're good.
You're good, bro.
Do you ever get nervous, bro?
Always, bro. That never goes away.
Have you ever been like good at public speaking or anything like that? You never get nervous,
bro. Like, I spoke in front of like 300 people this one time, like 300 real estate agents.
Wow,
bro, I was scared as fuck. I took like a little shot. yeah, just to get up there. But once I got up there, like se te quita.
Yeah. I think it's the whole mental thing, right?
Yeah. Like we're just chopping it up, you know what I mean? Just boys chopping it up. We're having a conversation.
All right, bro. So first and foremost, do you even know what the name of the podcast is or no?
No.
All right. So the name of the podcast is Hoy No Más.
Okay.
Right. It's I don't know if you've ever used that phrase, right?
Yeah, of course.
We chose that because actually my girlfriend chose it because I'm always after whatever the case is, like a outrageous statement, you'll be like, no más,
yeah, exactly.
So exactly. Yeah. So we use that. But yeah, that's what the name of the podcast is. And
I dig it, bro.
Are you ready, bro?
Yep, let's get it.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. So that on air is on. Everything is on.
Testing.
You're good. You're good to go. Mm-hmm. So like I said, we chose that Hoy No Más just because I feel like I just wanted to keep this podcast very raw and very kind of
cultural.
Cultural. And at the same time, nothing too serious, bro. It's just like at times there is going to be some conversations that are serious. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's just like I miss the old conversations that I used to have. At least I'm from an older generation that before social media. Mm-hmm. That when I used to be on the phone for hours, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Racking up the bill.
Yeah, exactly. So I would be on the phone and then asking for, hey, ¿puedo hablar con so-and-so?
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like now kids don't have that. So I just wanted to have it something fun, just have a simple conversation. That
reminds you of your upbringing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that. Are you ready, bro?
I'm ready, bro. Let's get it.
Are you ready? Welcome to Hoy No Más Podcast.
That's
with
clean.
Angel Houseman.
That's hard. Did you get that custom made?
Yeah, I got that made, bro.
That's hard.
Yeah, the things that I do, bro, I try to have something done as best to my ability. You know,
fire,
if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it to the best as I can, and if it's not there yet, I'm gonna continue striving for that.
That's how you built this whole thing to do the podcast.
Yeah, I had never built anything, bro.
Yeah, this is sick, bro. I like it a lot.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
It's clean.
Well, first than anything, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you, bro, for coming over here. I feel like, in my point of view, maybe in somebody else's eyes, they might not think of it as much, right? But from my point of view, it's just like I've seen all your content, bro, and I've tried to not necessarily study you, but I like to see what your lifestyle is about, where your upbringings were from. And I feel there's a lot of similarities. I noticed that there is a lot of quotes that you use. I'm like, I even shared some with you, and I'm like, bro, I've been saying this for years, bro. The only difference right now is that you're actually making it and living my quote unquote dream life, you know, because my biggest dream in life is to make a living out of the things I love, right? That's the whole reason why I made this studio right now. Because at one point I was like, you know what? I want to make my point a space that I can just be creative and utilize, and I have no excuses anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
Bro, you don't. I mean, especially too with being a creative, you know, I'll share some game with you on the podcast that we can share with everybody too. But I mean, right now is the easiest time for you to make a living off of the stuff that you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if anything from this podcast, you're gonna be like, fuck, now I know what to do to make that happen faster. You know?
Well, I have a bunch of questions, bro. So I just wanted to, like I told you, I just wanted to come about in this podcast episode in a sense that. You're already living the dream that I would want to be striving for in living. So now more than anything is kind of I'm gonna come at you with somebody that has somewhat of a knowledge, but at the same time you're already living that dream. So what advice can you provide myself and anybody else out there that wants to have this type of lifestyle, or more than anything this I guess, not necessarily working for anybody else, but working for yourself, doing the things that you love, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think success means something different to everybody, right? You know, sometimes for some people it might be monetary, for some people it might be a lifestyle, for some people it might be just, like you said, you know, living out your dream life, you know, getting paid, doing what you love. I think the biggest thing that I've realized in my career, in my journey, is just a consistency. You know, for the past 4 years, I've done video creation, you know, and I haven't steered away from it. You know what I mean? So I think that's what's ultimately giving people the confidence to like look up to me in a certain extent of, you know, somebody who is living out their dream, doing what they love, because I've been consistent with it. You know, oftentimes enough, people will jump into something and they'll do it for a couple of months thinking it's just meant to pop off at the moment you do it.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't happen, then people start getting like doubtful of like, oh man, maybe I'm not that good, or maybe I shouldn't be doing that, right? So it's, I would say that the consistency aspect of it. But then another thing is like being aware that, you know, things don't pop off, you know, de la noche a la mañana, you know?
Yeah.
And then the biggest thing is knowing that you're always going to go through challenges and situations, you know, at every level of your life. And a lot of times when people get some sort of like pushback from, you know, whether it's starting off a business or, you know, going out and doing something that they love, whether it's like putting out videos on YouTube, the first people in your circle, which are going to be like your immediate friends, your immediate family, are going to question you, right? They're going to be like, ¿Y tú para qué quieres hacer eso? Or like this and that. They'll like kind of start getting in your head. Well, the reality is that those things are meant to be there, right? Because if not, you're not going to move.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times when people tell us no, we're like, okay, well, maybe let's not do it. But the reality of it is that that's what's going to test you. That's God's way of testing you and telling you, like, if you really want it, this is what you're going to have to go through. You know, your gift isn't going to come, you know, igual de la noche a la mañana. Like, your gift has been given to you. Let's see how bad you want it.
Bro, man.
You know?
Bro, I feel like, trust me, I've seen a lot of your content, bro, and it's like when you say all these words, like, bro, this guy is me.
I love that.
And I appreciate that, because it's kind of like there's so many roadblocks that life is going to throw to you that at times is like, man, like you just feel like giving up, bro. And then at the same time is like, how bad do you really want it? And I come from San Diego, you come from San Diego, and I feel like without even knowing you, I feel like, man, he has the similar challenges that anybody else from San Diego came with. And maybe not now, but in the past, a lot of people used to like deal with gang violence, drugs, etc. But the thing is that never anything of that environment never attracted me. You know, I was always around those people because they were friends, but at the same time, their lifestyle wasn't for me, bro. I feel like I was placed in this world for better, bro. I feel like if I was placed I guess if I was placed in the ghetto, in the hood, my goal is to see how far I can take it. I love that. And I'm still striving, bro. I'm still working. And
well, here's the thing, bro. When my client said this recently, and it stuck with me, right? Because a lot of the times when we're growing and we're pushing, we're always like, man, but we still got so more to go, right? But the reality is, if you think about it, like you said, right, our upbringing, we had to, like, let's say this is standard, right? This is where the majority of people start. We started here. Yeah. So we had to first get to a place where it's standard in order for us to continue to build. Yeah, right? Exactly. So don't ever feel like you haven't made progress or you haven't, you know, made an increase in the things that you want out of your life. But first you have to overcome, you know, the limiting beliefs, like the self-doubt, the critics. Like there's a lot of layers that we go through culturally that people don't realize that we have. And we have to have the confidence enough to break those first before we're able to get onto the next level and really, you know, build our craft and the vision that we have for our lives to actually come to life, you know? Yeah, exactly. Do you feel like you're actually living the dream right now, bro? You know, I'm very hard with myself, you know what I mean? I'm always like, you know, what's next? You know, I'm always on the move. I'm my own biggest critic, right? But when I lay things out and I see how things are going for me, I'm like, these are the exact same things that I would dream about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. You know, and now I'm living to them. I'm living them every single day. Yeah. So because of that, you know, sometimes you lose yourself in the process of like, oh, I still have so much more to go. There's still so many things that I need to accomplish. But the reality is that I'm living the life that I wanted 4 years ago. Right. So sometimes I just have to mentally make myself aware of it, so that I can continue to have that motivation to be like, man, like I really make some shit happen for myself. You know what I mean? Right. Exactly. Yeah. So
since you're currently living the life that you wanted a few years back, bro. So now that you're, I guess, maybe in your eyes, you're currently living it. Does it get to a point that you're still not satisfied? Do you want to continue striving for more because I guess it's never ending, or how does that work, bro?
I feel like the way that I kind of like see things like as an entrepreneur is like, imagine an athlete not being able to play their favorite sport. You know, like I live this, I breathe this, I enjoy this every single day. So I'm always trying to make progression, right? But a lot of the times with society, what happens is that they tell us that wanting that big house, wanting that big car, wanting X amount of money, you know, per year, per month, whatever, is the happiness, right? Yeah. Once you achieve it, then that's the happiness. But the reality of it is that as long as you get to live your life day in and day out how you choose to, that progression should be enjoyed, right? And a lot of times we lose our happiness thinking that the next layer is where we're going to be happy, that next layer is where we're going to be happy. And that's not the case. You know, we're always going to want more, you know, but the reality is it's just staying focused, staying grounded, and knowing that, you know, just living out the life how you want to live it, that's already happiness within itself. And there's always going to be more, but then also being aware of like who it is that you do it for and the people that, you know, surround you and the people that you love. That's what, you know, truly ultimate matters. So
is that what keeps you going, bro? Like your family, your kids?
My family, my mom, you know, my kids for sure. Like they're my motivation every single day. You know, there's not a day that I don't feel the pressure of like knowing that, you know, my mom isn't still retired, you know, making sure that my kids are set for the rest of their life and their children are set for the rest of their life. Those are things that are always in the back of my mind. So that's definitely my driving force when it comes to like, you know, trying to keep pushing for more. But at the same time, like I said, like on the selfish aspect of it, like I'm literally living the life that I want, you know, at least I have the opportunity to be able to wake up knowing that today I get to wake up and do what I love, you know?
Yeah. Do you ever wake up and like think to yourself, like, what the hell am I living? Like I'm living the life I dreamed for.
Yeah. Like recently, probably more than before. Obviously I get to travel a lot. I get to meet a lot of super cool people, a lot of people that are doing a lot better than me, you know, and I get the opportunity to be able to learn from them, right? But I think the biggest satisfaction is like whenever I have these meaningful conversations with people that are doing better than me, they can already see what my future holds for me, right? So that's
dope.
Yeah, so that gives me like that excitement to continue pushing forward and continue to grind, because, you know, a lot of the times we can't see past, you know, the next two steps that we have, right? And we can very easily lose sight of like the reason why we're doing it, you know. But when people encourage you and support you, then it makes a world of a difference.
Actually, I have a tattoo of that, bro. And maybe people can look at it differently, right? But I got a tattoo done on myself because at times when you're on the grind, when you're working towards a specific goal, you're not going to see it physically, right? But you have to keep it in your mindset and inside of your heart, in the spiritual realm, that it is going to happen, or you're creating it in a place that you can't visually see it, right? And it's called, at least from the Bible verse or whatnot, is walk by faith and not by sight, right? Because at times you're working so hard for a specific goal, but you're not going to see the fruits of your labor, bro. But you're creating it in a realm that you can't visually see.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the hard part when it comes to like our culture, because if you tell somebody, "Mom, I'm gonna make money off of being a YouTuber," then we're like, "That's loca." You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna, you know, build wealth being a videographer, or I'm gonna have a podcast and it's gonna be super successful and I'm gonna make a living off of that. Like they don't see that, right? But it's in your mind, and it's hard to know that you have to put in the work, make it happen first before everybody else is seeing it, you know. But it's not easy. But you know, a funny story. Well, not funny story, but my company name, I decided to call it Visionary for the same reason that you have to be forward thinking. You have to have the ability to see it in your mind first before you can actually see it in physical form, right? So it's the ability of bringing something that's you know, like you said, spiritual or mentally or all that, and then bring that into physical form. Yeah. You know?
Do you still get questioned by your family, bro, after seeing all the fruits of your labor, bro?
Not anymore at all. You know,
now they see the vision.
Yeah, now it's like, now my cousins are like, I knew you were always gonna make it. I'm like, shut up, bro. No, but you know, and I think that's the beauty of it. I think the most beautiful thing that I have found out throughout this entire journey is that I can't blame, you know, my family for ever doubting it. I can't blame, you know, people during that specific time period for questioning my actions, right? Because what we come from is just not normal. You know, you don't just make a living off of shooting videos or creating content on social media. Like, that's not like a thing. It's not a normal thing. You work at Little Caesars, you know, you work at a taco shop, you work your way up to be a supervisor, and that's the top of the top. So I feel like maturity and awareness has probably been the biggest blessing that has come from this entrepreneurial journey, because now I can not hold resentment towards people who maybe questioned me or doubted me or you know, gave me their back when I needed them the most. You know, and it gave me that ability to understand that, you know, I want to say forgiveness, but it's more of understanding. You know, it wasn't that they were telling me certain things out of bad intentions. It was more of they just couldn't see it for themselves because it hadn't been done yet.
Exactly. And at the same time, at the end of the day, they were just looking out for you in a sense, right? Because how many years back have they said, hey, if you want to be successful, you have to go to college, you have to stay in school. And so that's all they knew. And at the end of the day, all they wanted for Jose was to be successful, you know, and to take care of himself, 100%. His family. So it's very understandable. But at the same time, it can bring your morale down and it can discourage you to pursue your dreams, because that's when you start to discourage, like feeling discouraged and like, am I doing the right thing or not?
Yeah, you know? 100%, bro. And I feel like that's why a lot of people don't ever jump into entrepreneurship or into, you know, making their dream life come a reality, because they don't get support from that immediate people that they expect it from. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, nonetheless, you know, now, you know, having proven the point of, you know, turning my vision into reality, now it's like I get to be the leader for my family. You know, I get to be the first person to break past, you know, our limiting beliefs. And now, you know, I'm educating my mom on what she can do with her credit and how she can acquire property. Now I'm teaching my aunt, like, she already has her first house. Okay, keep your first house, then do a HELOC, pull that money out, acquire, you know, a duplex, a triplex, whatever you can get. Now you're stacking up wealth without the need of having a bunch of money in your bank account. You know what I mean? So because of everything that I've been able to accomplish and the ability to have been able to learn from multiple different entrepreneurs, now I get to bring that back to my family, and I've proven my point. So they've seen what I've done happen physically. So now whenever I try to, you know, give them advice or what things to do, now they listen, right? Now I get to be that leader for my family.
Right. So they'll probably be like, hey, ¿qué hago?
No, for real. You know what I mean? Like my aunt's asking me questions like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, how should I promote this? I'm like, that's my biggest sense of fulfillment. You know what I mean? Like knowing that now I can give that back to the people that I love the most and I want to help.
Was there anybody in your life that you ever reached out to and they just kind of like turned their back towards you? Or?
I wouldn't say, I didn't really have that. Mine was more of just like, you know, the people that I supported during their journey. Whenever I felt that I was going to get the support back when I started my journey, and that didn't come, and it was actually more of like, I was considered more of a threat than somebody that you love and support, that I got more of that than actually like, you know, hitting up somebody and them not responding. You know, I think one of the biggest things that, you know, people kind of make the mistake is like expecting for everybody to be a part of your journey. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the times people will be like, I'll give out advice, you know, like, you know, my life changed because I reached out to somebody on social media, and that person gave me the right steps or put me in touch with the right person. And that's how I started, you know, becoming an intern and how all this started, right? Yeah. A lot of times people get so caught up in like, oh, well, this person that's doing it never replied. It's not their responsibility to reply. You're going to meet a couple different people that are not going to reply, you know, but you're also going to get that one person that does and just changes your life completely. So, you know, how they say, you know, you got to kiss a couple frogs, you know, before.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think to be honest with you, I feel I don't know if it's like our upbringings, right? But for me, it's just one of those things that somewhat I was able to kind of like give back towards my dad and my mom, right? And for my dad, I was able to have the I guess the blessing to be able to send money towards him to Sinaloa and things like that. And I was able to help him as much as I could. Same like yourself, I wanted to retire him. I wanted to buy him a car. That way he wouldn't struggle. Unfortunately, he passed away. And I was like, man, it sucks, you know? But at the same time, I did what I could with my resources. From my point of view, with my mom, on the other hand, I feel like a lot of girls nowadays are kind of living their life and kind of like, living their best life, things like that. And at the same time, and I can't blame my mom because she was pretty much a young mom and she was doing her thing. But at the same time, it's like, I felt like I was missing her motherly love. I don't know if you ever felt like that towards your mom, right? And I know I brought this up last time kind of through a message, right? But it's something that helped me out and it helps me understand a little bit more. Just recently I did ayahuasca, and through ayahuasca, it's a medical, it's not a medical, it's plant medicine, right? And I took it, and it's something that helped me understand. And at the same time, I've been fortunate to kind of sort of retire my mom. But now I fully understand like why things happen. I'm a strong believer that everything in life that happens, it was meant to be. There's no mistakes in life, right?
100%.
And since I was lacking like that motherly love, at times it's like I'm bringing myself. My dad was in Sinaloa, my mom's here, but she was like stuck in her bubble without having many resources, and she stopped working when I was like 18, and so on and so forth. But I always knew that there was more to life than this, right? So I started researching on like I guess like plant medicine, things of like psychedelics, things of that sort. And when I did ayahuasca, out of all, I had so many beautiful messages. But one of the key things, I think the biggest message that I received through Mother Ayahuasca was that I was given to my mom because she needed me more than I needed of her, right? So she said, hey, you were given to your mom because she needed you in her life. However, even though you are in a way taking care of her, don't forget I'm still your mother and I'm taking care of you, right? And Mother Ayahuasca, they say that this plant, it's of an elderly being, of I guess like a grandma almost. And when I received that message, it helped me understand that, you know what, I have to be patient with my mom. And I have to kind of understand that she's not going to be that quote unquote mother that I was always looking for, or all the kids kind of like look out for, or I guess the society name of a mom that she's going to be taking care of you, cooking for you, so on and so forth, right? So it helped me understand that, you know what, I need to be there for my mom, right? And when I kind of see your journey, that you're always looking out for your mom, for your siblings, so on and so forth, I'm like, oh, there's many similarities, that you just want to like be the best and see the best for your family.
100%, bro. And I feel like everybody's, it's all about perspective, right? You had to understand that perspective in order for you to kind of deal with it, right? I think one of the biggest things that I didn't have the best upbringing with my mom. Even though my mom was there, it was more of like, would always just bump heads, because one of the things that I realized now that I'm older is that, my mom went through the death of her son right away. My dad ended up cheating on my mom. So they split up. Like, imagine all that happening consecutively, like right after, something so traumatic happens, and then having to deal with taking care of me. Now half of the income is out the window. So now we're going and renting rooms at people's houses and living in garages and stuff like that. So I can only imagine her pressure, and especially, not having the same resources that we have now. Like, she's always had to fend for me, figure things out. God knows, how her bills, overpowered her or consumed her. Like, I never had that understanding or that awareness, right? I would just always have food on the table, roof over my head, and school, right? So now that I'm older, it's like, okay, mom, like, I get it. Now that I'm a father, I'm like, I understand it. I can see how bills can get very consuming, how not having the right amount of money or income can affect your mood at certain times, or give you that stress and the pressure that never goes away, or all these little things that a lot of times we can't see because we haven't yet experienced them, sort of make us resentful at first. But once we go through those experiences that are meant there to teach us what we're meant to be taught, then we can be empathetic, and now it's like I'm trying to have a better relationship with my mom and know that she went through a lot. And I can only imagine, I don't even want to imagine what losing a child feels like, and especially after that, just losing everything, and so because of that, I feel like we all have our own journey. We all have our own moments that we gotta endure and struggle and feel whether it's good feelings or bad feelings, those are meant to ultimately give us a character to be the person that we're meant to be. Now because of my ability to have mental strength, because of what I went through, now my mom sees that I've survived without her. I've actually thrived without her. So now it's like I can be the leader for my family.
Yeah.
So I had to go through all those little things that quote unquote make me unbreakable in order for me to be able to come back and be the leader that I need to be for my family.
Yeah. Now that you see that, though, do you feel like at one point you felt resentment in a way that, hey, you're supposed to be looking out for me, right?
For a period, yeah. When I wasn't understanding of my emotions, I was always like, oh, how come my mom can't be loving towards me? How come my mom can't be this type of person for me, or this and that? But again, I now know that God has. Everything happens for a reason.
Right.
Like you were saying, God has your own purpose. So I had to endure what I had to endure in order for me to be the person that I'm meant to become.
Yeah.
And there's no shortcuts to that. It just has to happen the way it has to happen. It's like me losing my brother has made me appreciative of the people that I'm around. If I love you, I'm gonna tell you, yo, I love you. Hey, if something that I'm feeling towards you, I'm gonna let you know for the same reason that I didn't have that opportunity to be able to tell that to my brother. All right. So there's certain things that happen that we might not know why that had to happen that way, that we won't realize that later down the road, that those are things that shaped us to become the person that God needed us for us to be, whether it's for your immediate family, whether it's for your community, whether it's if you have a platform for the people that you're going to impact, and I feel like that's the main reason why I try to share so much on social media. I know that I don't have to, but it's something that just gives me sense of happiness and fulfillment, knowing that if I know how much I had to endure, cry and go through all these emotions to get to where I'm at this point, right, where I am mentally. How can I solve that for people a lot easier? I'm not trying to remove their whole process, but I'm trying to make them aware of what's possible, that what's out there. Like, you can change your life no matter where you're at in life right now, as long as you have the will and you have the commitment to see things through, and the ability to not give up. Like, you can live the life that you want, and it doesn't have to. You don't have to make millions. You don't have to have this crazy house. You don't have to do any of that. It's just living life how life is meant to be.
And why do you feel like you need to do that, bro?
I don't know, bro. Like, I'm still trying to figure that out. Lately I've been having this conversation with me. I always analyze myself. That's one of the things that I get whenever I get to travel. It's always like, why do I do this? How come I haven't done this? Why do I keep repeating the same mistake? And I think one of the main reasons why I feel like I have a sense of responsibility is because probably God has placed in me the ability to be a leader to my community and to, help people stop their suffering, and I have to embrace it, and moments like this where I'm invited to podcasts and receive the pain that you gave me, like, I have to be appreciative of these things, that I'm fearful of them at times, because I'm like, who am I to be talking? Who am I to be sharing this? Like, prior to this conversation, when if you were to ask me, like, how does it feel to now live the dream life or do this, I would in my mind, I'd be like, you're not even close. Right. So now I'm being a little bit more graceful with myself and understanding that I'm never going to feel like I'm there. I'm never going to feel like the success that how people perceive me as, right? But I have to be understanding that, me being the person that I am, God have given me the ability to be able to speak things and to people and share it, like the willingness to want that, like I have to embrace it. And now it's just seeing that come to life, because again, everything that you feel internally, it's your job and it's God's gift to you, but you have to turn that into reality.
I totally get you. I feel like your feelings and your mindset and all that, it comes from a higher power,
that
bro.
Little voice in your head, bro.
Exactly.
That's God telling you.
Exactly.
Like,
Well, we're just energy, bro. We're an energy
100%.
source. And whatever messages you're receiving, similar to modern technology, there's a reason why you have that in your heart, bro. And I've always had that. For some reason, I'm not quite there yet to where I want to be in life, right? I'm very thankful and blessed with the life I have, right? But like you said, I'm not satisfied. I want to continue going. I want to be the best as I can, right? But there's something in my heart that tells me continue going, continue working. And I always tell people you can never go wrong if you follow your heart.
100%.
Right? And for me, like, trust me, bro, I was freaking nervous because I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know if you felt the same pressure, right? But at least from my end, I'm like, oh, I need to hold up a conversation with a quote unquote complete stranger, right? Somebody that's already, in my perspective, is already making it, living the life that it's already living. I need to create this conversation, hold up a conversation right before you stepped into the house. I was telling Chella, like, fuck the things that I get myself into, bro. And she told me, hey, everything's gonna be okay. You know what? I'm thankful for the things that you do, and it gave me peace of mind, bro, just to continue going. And I know what I'm doing. Maybe right now it doesn't make sense, but at one point everything's gonna click, bro.
100%. And that is probably like the biggest skill set that you need to embrace, like always putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, because those are when you really take steps towards where you're ultimately meant to be.
Right, exactly.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And even it's funny because I've always said, I was actually having this conversation with one of my coworkers. I'm like, fuck, man, you know what, like, I just started this podcast thing at you know what, I'm not like nowhere near where I would want to be, and I just literally just started it. And at the same time, before you could hide your subscriber and so now you can't. But then at the same time, it gave me the realization that, hey, you know what, at the same time, don't be afraid to be a beginner, right? And then you posted something like that, like, man, this guy, I gotta talk to him, you know?
Yeah, the quote says, you know, a lot of times people don't want to start because they don't want to see starting at the bottom or starting at the beginning. And it's the truth, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't. Some people want to be content creators, right? But they're scared of like what people are gonna say, or they post a video acting a certain way or doing a certain thing, and they only get 2 likes. Like, what are people gonna say?
Yeah,
right.
You're always afraid of being judged, right?
Exactly. But I think it's like a really strong quote that has always stuck with me is like, judge less and you'll feel a lot less judged.
Right. Gotcha.
You know,
I like that. And actually, I live my life through quotes, bro. Quotes have helped me out so much in my life that through quotes, it helped me continue pursuing my goals and dreams in life. And at the same time, it's kind of like there's a quote in Spanish that I've always like loved and praised. Is like, for instance, is like, las estatuas se hicieron para los criticados, no para los críticos, right? Because whoever, like, people that are going to be on the sidelines are always going to be criticizing,
I've never
right?
heard that one before.
Yeah, they're always going to be criticizing from, oh, look at this guy, look, he did this, he did that. But the thing is that they created a statue of you, and they're the ones that are always going to be in the sidelines criticizing.
100%.
All right.
I mean, put it in like, I'll put it this way, right? You know, us culturally growing up Mexican, like, we love soccer, right?
Yeah.
How many times have your tío, your dad has never been like, oh, tenía que haber pasado la pelota, or he should have done this, he should have done that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are elite. These guys are professional players. Like, do you think that they do not know that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just sometimes, like, whether it's sports or in real life, there's going to be certain situations that you don't see things from a third perspective, right? Like, we're getting to see it from far, but imagine them that they're playing in the field. They're analyzing in real time. They have a bunch of fans booing, yelling, the pressure. It might be a championship. So all these little things that we don't experience because we're at the comfort of our own house. That's why so many people feel entitled to critique, because they're not actually on the field playing.
Yeah, exactly. You know? It's not the same when you have the spotlight,
same,
bro.
It ain't the same.
Like, right before you came, bro, like, you know what? Something I'm not even a big fan of. I think it's Lupe Fiasco or whatever, but there's this song that when I first heard that little first verse, it's kind of like, it keeps me going, because I'm like, oh shit, it's like, it gives me the pressure, but at the same time, it's like, hey, if you are who you say you are, then here, you know. So it says something along the lines, I think it's called like Superstar, I'm not sure, but if you are who you say you are, then have no fear. The cameras are here, like, okay, this is who you want to be.
It's time to shine.
It's time to shine.
It's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro, and it's so true. Like, you know, I think one of my the biggest obstacles that I have to overcome is like to be able to comfortably speak in front of people, to speak on stage. That's my biggest fear. That's my biggest struggle, right? But I know I have to go through that in order to be the person that I'm meant to become.
Yes.
You know, as of right now, I've gotten the opportunity to be able to do it through social media, through putting out content. But there's gonna have to come a point where I have to do this in front of an actual physical crowd.
Yeah, definitely. Know? Actually, I mean, I love speaking through camera and things like that. But like you said, for me, that's one of my biggest struggles, bro. Public speaking. Yeah. For some reason, they always pick me at work, whatever, and I'm like, God damn, like, hey, well, they're like, hey, you're good at speaking. Like, I'm good at speaking with you guys.
Exactly.
But when I have like freaking a whole, what kills me, bro, is having like a full on freaking room and everybody just quiet, just looking at you.
You're like, fuck.
Yeah. What I realized is that you have to make it into a conversation, bro. Like at times it's like if you ask a question to somebody, like, or if you acknowledge somebody and they say something back, then it breaks the ice a little, right?
It gives you that comfort.
Yeah,
you know where to kind of like move.
Yeah, so you take it into like a conversation that it's like you take away the pressure from all just being on you and all the focus just being on you, that it becomes like kind of like, hey, let's all have a conversation.
Yeah, this is for all of us.
Yeah, so I feel you on that. That's something that I want to master, because I feel like somebody that can speak in front of a crowd, it's so powerful, bro. And till this day, that's another reason why I wanted to start this podcast, right? Because it's putting me on a uncomfortable situation, but at the same time to hold my own. And aside from telling stories or whatnot, it's putting me in a place that I can practice my public speaking. So
yeah, it's so true, bro. Like, you're gonna go through that process, but I mean, you're already doing it. You know, I think a lot of the times too, even, you know, sharing our content on social media is already a big thing enough. You know, I think one of the things that I've come to realize is that some of my biggest influences have been Uber drivers. You know, it hasn't been these people who have high net worths or anything. That has been Uber drivers, because they probably have shared some of the best life lessons with me, you know, and they didn't need to be a good public speaker. They just connected with me, you know?
Right.
And I feel like that's the biggest part that we have to focus, is understanding that it's not how good we speak. It's not how good this, and that. It's just how good can we connect?
Right.
How good can we be relatable to the people that, you know, might be a couple steps behind us, that need that little bit of encouragement.
Right,
or
exactly.
Just to hear that one quote that just takes them to the next step.
Right,
You know?
exactly. And for me, I feel like I've been placed in, I guess, in a... Oh shit! Sorry, I thought it was this guy. For me, I feel like I'm a little bit ahead than a lot of my other peers. Like the same people. Actually, there's a water for you, bro. If you want a water. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. Yeah. But I feel like I'm a little step ahead from like a lot of my friends or whatnot, because in my work environment, I work for NASCO actually, and since I'm involved in connected with older people, bro, it's like they've been through life a lot more years than I have, right? So when they were looking into buying houses in 2011, 2008, around those years, everybody was hyped about getting a house or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, if they're making the same amount of money as I am,
you're like, I'm gonna go in too.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm like, okay, let me go to Wells Fargo, see how much I qualify for. And I was thinking they were going to make fun of me at the bank, but they're like, oh, you're actually qualified for so much. Okay, so what's next? I got a real estate. I was looking for a house and realized I needed a real estate agent. Okay, I'll pick this guy. So I picked a random guy, this Clark, and he was very helpful. Then, okay, we looked at some houses, got the house. And at the same time, at that point, I was 23. And I got the house. I think I was paying like $1,600 at 23 plus bills, so on and so forth. And I'm like, what the hell did I just do, bro? It's a lot of money at that time. But now with inflation and so on and so forth, I'm like, I'm
grateful that I did that.
I'm so grateful. Like, I'm so grateful for that version of myself that just did it. Yeah.
I feel like that's the biggest thing that a lot of people have to realize, that they already have the proper skill set. Where a lot of times, like, it's I don't want to say ignorance, but it's that like. It's like a child, right? The ability to just be able to do things without fear, you know, to just be like, all right, fuck, I'm gonna try it. You know? If you have that capability, or if you allow yourself to do that, you'll probably realize that those are gonna be some of the best decisions that you make.
Right, right, yeah. And it's just like, man, I'm so thankful, and similar to what you were saying about your conversations with Uber drivers or these entrepreneurs you deal with for content creating. At the same time, it's because a lot of those people have already done their mistakes in life. So you can take shortcuts by people that have already been there and done that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And it's hard for me in a sense, because my close circle at times, they don't have the same mindset or they like the same interest that I have. So at times it's like, man, I wish my like people were into the same thing. So it makes it a little bit harder, but at the same time, through watching people through the screens, I feel like I'm connected.
100%.
And it's like, okay, cool. Like, so in a sense, I feel like they're a friend of mine through a screen, 100%, right?
100%, bro. And that's what I try to tell people, everybody, like, don't just use social media as a way for you to get entertained. Like, use it as a vehicle for you to get out of where you're at.
Right.
You know, like, you have mentors without you even having to meet them, without having to pay them. Like, you have access. There's so many people out there right now that, you know, people got to realize this. Entrepreneurs are at this current time are trying to provide the most amount of value on social media, which means giving a lot of information that you probably would have to pay for free.
Right.
You just have to pick the one that you want to, you know, have lead you. Right. And a lot of times, like, we get so used to just being consumers and not actually creators of our own life. Right. So because of that, you know, like I said, it's a lot easier for people to criticize than to actually step up and, you know, step up to the plate and learn. But I mean, social media is so powerful. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for social media. You know what I mean? Like, that's how powerful it is.
Yeah,
you know?
That's crazy. Do you ever feel like, or it gets like, how scary it is not having a 9-to-5, bro? Do you ever get scared with that? Like,
I don't,
having,
bro.
no?
I don't. And the main reason now is because I feel like I have the confidence in I've gone through it all, bro. I've gone through, like, you know, good years, bad years where I'm like, I've made the most money in my life, and I'm like, now that's all gone. You know what I mean? So I feel like I've gone through certain things in my life and in my career and in my journey to know that I'll always figure out a way, right? Even if it just means surviving, I'll survive.
Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like what I do for a living is such a needed skill set. Right. So let's say, God forbid, I just needed to survive 1 month. Right. Well, fuck it, I'm going to go to this business person and then I'm going to give them what I would normally charge 5,000 for. I'm going to give it to them for 1,000 because I need that extra 1,000. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to be resourceful. I'm always trying to find ways for me to make additional money. Like, so being afraid of not having that 9-to-5 or that stability isn't really, like, in the back of my mind anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's crazy, and that's very motivational to be in a place that you don't even think of a 9-to-5 anymore, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's just not in my mind anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like this is what it's gonna be for me the rest of my life. Now it's like, how can I, you know, help my mom do the same thing? How can I help my sisters that just turned 18, 19 do the same thing? You know?
Yeah, help me, bro.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, well, I'm actually going to be. It's funny that you said that. I'm actually going to be rolling out like sort of like a membership to where I don't just talk about content. The main reason why I'm leading with content is because content for businesses is like what, I don't know what to put it, but it's like being able to breathe, right? It's air to the business. So I'm a content creator. I do content for a lot of businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs. So I understand so much of the spectrum, right? So my whole community is going to be built on understanding how to create content for businesses. But the biggest thing is that I'm going to build a community to where I bring on other people that talk about different things that I've now understood the value for, right? I'm going to bring people that can talk about credit. I'm going to bring people that can talk about real estate. I'm going to bring people that can talk about business funding, business credit, life insurance, how to use that to be the infinite banking system. So many things that I've been able to learn that I can now leverage from to build my wealth. I want to bring that to my community, right? And what I'll do is I'll have like a membership fee. So it won't be this like one-time payment. You pay $1,000 a month or whatever the amount is. I want to have it be a membership, right? I want it to be a community thing so that everybody that comes in is knowing that they're going to receive something more of just information, but they're going to have a community of people that they can reach out to. You're going to go to Arizona to maybe get some property in Arizona. Well, now you have people that are in our community that are in Arizona and they understand the market a little bit more, so they can tell you, hey, Phoenix is booming, or Glendale, you should look at this and that. So that's kind of what I want to build. I feel like that's going to be my my purpose that God has given me come to life. It's going to be building that community.
So would you say that that's pretty much the up and coming projects that you have going on right now?
Yeah, that is my next phase. You know, I think I love being a content creator. I'm always going to be a content creator, but I love business more than anything, you know, and being able to do that and empower other people to be their own business person for themselves. That's what's going to make me the happiest, you know.
That's actually what I was gonna ask, bro, because like I feel like when I first like kind of heard of yourself of you through social media, it was like, oh, YouTuber, right, or influencer, so on and so forth.
That's what people think the most that I do.
So I was like, okay, but then it's like I haven't seen you being consistent with your social media in regards to YouTube. I'm like, but I see you being successful, and you're always traveling, going on airplane rides to many different places. So I was like, man, is YouTube kind of being set aside for the moment because you just have no interest towards it, or you feel like I don't know, like
I think it's more of a shift, right?
Okay.
Because for me, here, I didn't have this perspective before, right? Before I used to think that to be an influencer, you just needed to entertain people, right? But now it's like, no, like I can be an influencer on the educational side of things, on the business side of things. So I'm going through this phase where I'm transitioning and bringing people onto my team so that I can continue to venture off and expand. Right. So then content for YouTube and social media is going to come back. It's just going to be different. Right. I will have maybe conversations like this with high net worth individuals that can provide a lot of value when it comes to like I said, you know, credit, business, life insurance, real estate, whatever the case may be. That's the type of influencer that I want to be known for, not just entertainment, not just my, you know, my life and that stuff. I want to be known for somebody that truly left an impact, you know, in this world. So that switch is coming.
Gotcha. And do you feel like that's something that, I don't know, like, do you have like no more interest of like putting just kind of entertainment out there anymore?
No, yeah, like I do. Like my family channel, there's still content that goes out, you know, like I put the vlog where I took my mom to Europe. You know, we went out for a whole week. So I think I probably dropped 2 videos when I went to Paris and then when we went to Santorini. But there are a couple of things that I do with my kids. The main reason why I even started my YouTube channel was because I wanted to document memories of things that we did with our children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One of my biggest memories that I have growing up prior to my brother's passing was us going to Disney. I was going to Legoland. I was going to different places. All that is recorded in VHS tapes.
Yeah.
You know, so mentally, it's like I want to do the same for my kids now. Because if it wasn't for those VHS tapes, I couldn't be able to see how I used to run around with my brother. Right. I couldn't used to see how I used to, you know, jump and act as a kid or have these moments as a family or any of that.
Right.
That was the main reason why I started YouTube, and then it just went somewhere completely different.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the way I view YouTube, even though obviously I want to be successful at it at one point. At the same time, is like YouTube at the end of the day can be a diary for you. Like you can at times, like I've looked back and like, oh, I remember that.
I look so different.
Yeah, yeah. And then you just create memories and you 100%. Can actually visualize them. And it's like, that's what I like more than anything. For me, I'm going to strive for the best and try to give it my best and all, whether I make it or not, who knows, but at least I'm going to put in the effort. Worst case scenario, I can always go look back and be like, oh, I remember these. And then if I ever have kids or family, we have things to show them, you know, 100%. Through video.
Yeah. And I feel like as long as you know what you're building it for and what you want the outcome to be, then you shouldn't really focus on like the amount of views or the amount of subscribers, right? Because I feel like that's one of the things that I've learned now recently, making this transition, right? The 48,000 people that I have on my IG are not going to be okay with the new content that I'm putting out, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm going through this transition period now where it's like I have to be comfortable with that.
I was going to ask that, bro, because I feel like a lot of people and maybe you can I guess either agree or not, but I feel like a lot of people just want entertainment, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And do you ever question like, oh man, they're not going to like it?
Yeah, like a couple of months ago I was questioning it because I was like, man, like my engagement dropped. You know what I mean? Because like if I post something with my family, I'll get like 12,000 likes, 8,000 around there, right? But when I post like informational stuff, like it just tanks, right? So at first I was kind of like, man, maybe I shouldn't do it, you know? But then one thing that I realized is that it's like, what do I want from my life, right? What do I want? What do I preach to people? Oh, don't worry if you only get 300 likes because that's still 300 people, right? So it's like the exact same things that I'm explaining to people is the exact same way that I have to live my life, right? So it's like, even if I only get 800 likes or 1,000 likes, that's 800 people to 1,000 people that genuinely want to make an impact and change their life, right? So those are the people that I really want to impact and build with.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and you made a post about that, which I totally agree. 800 people, it's a lot of people, bro.
Lot. Imagine 800 people just right here waiting for you, bro.
Yeah,
You'll
exactly.
be freaking out.
Yeah, exactly. Even 30 people, that's a full-on room, bro. Like having that platform or whatever, it makes a difference. And if you can change somebody's life through something you said or something that you're currently working on, it's amazing, bro. So I very, very much appreciate what you're doing, that you can care less of, like, maybe if you know that you can post a specific type of content, you know you're going to get this amount of likes or interaction with, but you're following your own path, bro. That eventually the right people or the people you're trying to target
100%.
to will eventually see your content and appreciate it more and probably have much nourishment from that.
100%. And that's me being understanding of that is what's allowing me to continue and doubling down and hiring a full-time videographer so that I can put out more content, right? Because I know where I'm headed. I'm not focused so much on the short term, which is this transition period where my engagement dropped or this happened. Now it's like, I know where I'm going to be in 6 months. I know where I'm going to be in a year. I know the impact that I'm trying to make. I know the community that I'm trying to build. So I have to be comfortable going through this transition period, right? And it's crazy too, because a lot of times, like, you know, even the people that don't engage are still watching, right? So now, based on metrics, instead of focusing on likes, I focus on views. Right? Because a lot of times, like, the people that watch it are not always going to hit the like. And there's nothing wrong with that. I catch myself sometimes too doing that. I'm like, man, I really like this video. And I don't hit like. You know what I mean? I just go on to the next one. But that's just kind of like the nature of us being so, like, our attention span being so short, right? But then there's also, if you have a purpose in terms of like why you do it, you're always going to end up getting that result long term, not just that short term sprint.
Yeah, cool. So pretty much everything that you were saying, and I don't know if you've already said it through social media. I don't think you have, right? But your current projects that you were mentioning about, is that the same thing as the Benny Sullivan collab or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things that people don't know about Benny is that Benny's super intelligent. You know, he might not have like a full grasp of like everything that I'm doing or how I'm trying to get things off the ground or stuff like that. But he's very intelligent, right? He's gotten to where he's gotten because of, you know, his awareness and his ability to understand how you have to do content a certain way, or how to be entertaining, or how to catch people's attention. So because of that, we decided to partner up and just kind of build this whole thing together, right? The main focus is content. So having him and me on the marketing side just combined, I feel like it's going to be a really good recipe to impact a lot of people.
Yeah, that's badass, bro. Because at times people just see the fun stuff and they probably think they have no knowledge or anything, right? But at the same time, people that are making it, it's not by mistake. It's not by mistake. They're freaking smart. Yep. They know what they're doing. They know their tactics or whatnot. So I respect that. Similar to the whole Jake Paul. This guy, hey, he's freaking
Look at him now.
Yeah, he's making it out there. So I respect everybody, and I know everybody that's putting out at times silly content or entertaining content. Whatever the case is, they know what's working for them 100%. To make it, you know? So
there people got to realize that, you know, there's an intent to everything, whether it's an intent to entertain, whether it's an intent to make people laugh, whether there's an intent to educate people. There's always an intent. There's a reason why things are done a certain way, right? And a lot of times people just fail to realize that. You know? And once people are becoming more aware and realizing that everything happens for a reason and everything is intentional, like, that's why, you know. I feel like I feel like I'm probably one of the most, like, people who kind of how do I say this, like, there's YouTube channel families that I'm like, this shit is staged, you know. I used to have this conversation with,
bro, I see that all the time.
I used to have this conversation with my kid's mom, because one of the things that I pride myself is that our content was very raw and very real, right? We don't have a lot of cuts, we don't have a lot of intentional shit. It was just raw, and if people liked it, cool, I don't have to change who I am, right? But then I would see some videos of, like, very popular YouTubers, and I'm like, this shit is staged. And she'd be like, no, this and that. I'm like, this shit is staged.
You can tell, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, you got to realize that a lot of YouTubers, like, their demographic is a very young crowd, right? And so because of that, you know, some people are very naive, you know, but, you know, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes.
Bro, like you said, and a lot of them are like, you can tell it's staged, but then people...
It's a business, bro. People don't realize YouTube channels are a business.
Damn.
So you have to if you understand business, you can be like, I understand why they do certain things, or if there's a scandal about them that might be true.
Yeah.
I can understand why they're still together.
Right.
Because it's a business.
And did you ever feel the need of needing to stage anything, bro, or something like that? No.
I'm like, I don't like not being who I am.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Even if one of the things that people would always say is like, Jose is very quiet or this and that. Whenever I was around all my YouTuber friends and we're vlogging, right? Because that's not my personality. That's not my character. I'm not ever going to not be who I am, regardless of whose platform I am, right? Because it's like, that's just not me.
Yeah.
You know, so if I feel, here's like a very touchy subject, right?
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people that go into depression is because they get tired of playing a character. You know?
Yeah.
Because then you come to realize like, man, like, you know, I don't have the energy today to be that character.
Yeah.
Or I don't have the energy today to be that. So I'm not that.
Because they're putting themselves, who they are as a person, on the back burner. Yes, exactly, bro.
Yep.
Let me see if it works. Oh, wait, hold. There we go. I saw some podcasts where you're like, oh, mic drop, but I'm like, fuck, I don't have a mic drop, but we can use this one.
One of the things, that was hard. I like that one. I've been wanting to say this like on a video, right? And there's not disrespect to anybody, but I feel like a lot of girls that claim to be boss bitches are really depressed. You know?
Why do you think that?
And the reason being is because there's so much false confidence on social media, right? The girls that are, you know, those boss girls that are actually legit killing it, living their life how they want, this and that, it kind of becomes more of a trend and it's something that you say instead of it being factual, right? So again, girls go into that character mode where it's like, I'm a boss bitch, I'm confident, blah, blah, blah. But they know that they don't have the money that they're trying to make. They don't have the shape of their body that they're trying to be looking like, right? Right? Because there's certain things that they lack.
Yeah.
They lack discipline. They lack, you know, the ability to control themselves, their eating habits and all that. So because of those little things, that boss bitch mindset, they know in the back of their mind is fake.
Yeah.
Right. So because of that, they continue to fall in this trap and they continue to be in depression because they know now they look at girls who are real boss bitches and be like, fuck, I'm not really that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it goes both for guys too, right? I think for guys, it's more on a status, more on a financial, more on a provider role. Sometimes guys don't really have it like that, right? And because of that, they fall into the trap of like trying to keep up with certain things that they know they can't really sustain that. So they fall in these depression stages because as a male, I feel like your masculinity is it comes from like being a provider, being able to provide for the family and the ones that you love. And a lot of times when you don't have that ability, mentally it gets you.
Yeah, definitely. I totally get it. And the way that I wanted to go about like social media or YouTube or whatnot is just like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to be as raw as possible. I'm going to post like similar to right now, like, fuck, man, my yard's not fully done. But hey, you know what? If at one point, if I ever hit or anything like that, hey, remember when my yard was all fucked?
And that's the beauty of it, bro. I watched this video recently and said the only reason why being rich is fun is because we were able to have conversations of when I was broke.
Yeah,
I was like,
definitely.
Damn, you know, because if you don't, like, what do you have to share?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like your story and your process is what makes you. You know, now I can happily say that I used to have a Honda Accord that the right passenger door weren't open, and my girlfriend at the time had to jump in through the window.
Yeah.
You know, now that's like, man, I can't believe how far I made it, right? But during that time, I was embarrassed that my fucking car door wouldn't open. You know what I mean?
It's part of your journey, bro.
It's part of your process, bro.
And then you start appreciating, like, wow, like I can't believe, like I'm at this point in my life. Like even like myself, that I'm not like into social media as like yourself, right? I'm trying to be, right? But at the same time, I'm very grateful where I am in life, because like earlier that we were talking about is that I think I was talking to a coworker. I'm like, man, I just want to be successful in life. And he was like, what are you talking about, Angel? You're already successful, bro. Look, first of all, we're coming from Logan, right? We grew up in Logan. You're out of you're not in gangs. You have a good job. You have your own home, things like that. And it made me realize that success can be pretty much defined differently to whoever you're talking to, 100%. Right? And I feel like I'm already successful, but just like yourself, I want to continue growing and striving for more. So just when I'm getting this chance to speaking to you, like right now, it's like inside of my head, I was thinking when you were talking right now, it was kind of like, what the hell? Like in a sense, I manifested this, right, bro? Like never in my life, because other people, I'm sure that there's going to be people that will die to meet you, bro. And I'm very grateful for you. Don't take it in the wrong way, but at the same time, other people would be like, "Oh my God, I didn't even get to say hi to him in person," right? But at the same time, for me, it's just like this is surreal in a sense, because like this person that I was watching on the screen is sitting down in front of me having a full-on conversation, and at the same time, it's kind of like, in my mind, I had already visualized this, and you're here.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, right? People have to know that whatever they see in their mind, they can make it happen.
No.
And it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be grand. It's just little things, right? Like, for example, like, you know, for certain people, it might be a car. For certain people, it might be a career. For some people, it might be money. It might be a watch. It might be whatever it is for that specific person, right? But those little things are what ultimately build that momentum so that you can become that version of yourself that you want to see when you look in the mirror, right? And these little key moments are things that you know were meant to happen, but guess what? You made them happen, right? If you wouldn't have reached out, whether it was like you being, you know, fearful or whatever that I was going to reject you or whatever, like you did it. You went ahead and did it, right? So because of that, everything that happens, all the blessings that happen in your life are obviously God first, but then also to you made them happen. You know, you make that action step while you were fearful, scared, whatever, you made it happen. Right. Your house, you made it happen. Yeah. You know, like your family, your relationship, you made it happen. Like you do you know why I shared your video? The painting?
Oh, okay. No, I don't know.
Because I was like, this guy like understands like what he's trying to do. Right. In my mind, I was like, he knows that this shit took effort. Yeah. And people are going to appreciate that. Yeah. So because of that, like he deserves to be reposted. He deserves to get there. A lot of times people just expect it. You didn't expect it. You did it first and then attempted to try and see if it was going to work out. Yeah. And it did. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But a lot of times people are like, well, what if it doesn't happen? Well, if it's not going to happen, then I'm just not even going to do it.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
So I know that level of intent because that's the exact same way I am. Yeah. Have I ever told you how I met Benny?
No.
So same thing you did, right? So during COVID, you know, we couldn't do traditional stuff that we were doing in the real estate niche. That was my main niche. So we couldn't do open houses. We couldn't do traditional marketing videos that we were doing for them. So I was like, who do I really want to work with? I'm like, fuck, I want to do YouTubers, right? I want to work with influencers. So one of the things that I did was we created this animation for Benny when his song had just came out and posted it, made it, tagged him, everything. I was like, if it works out, it works out. Bam, worked. He reposted it, commented. We started talking back and forth. What I do the next day, I made one for Alondra. Boom, same thing. She loved it, reposted it. She ended up hiring me for the Lash Bar LA. So we made some animations for her Lash Bar LA business. Once that came out, Maria from Us Always saw that and she was like, hey, how much for one of these for my business? I was like, I got you. Oh, so it just kind of, it went, that's how it all started, right? Yeah. But I was like, even if it doesn't work out, at least I know that I tried. So because of that, when I saw you do that, I was like, this guy deserves it.
You know? And you know what? That's my biggest thing, bro. Like, I don't care if I fucking fail, bro. It's that I don't want to live my life with that what if, like we were talking about, right? I want to know that I gave it my best of my ability to give it my best a shot, and if I failed, that I knew it wasn't because of me not putting in the work.
100%.
I know that I put in as much as work as I possibly could, and if it failed, I did my part. Yep. I'll do whatever I can, and I'll let God be the decisive of what happens afterwards. You know.
Facts, bro.
Yeah. So, man, bro, it's like talking to you is just like I feel like there's so many similarities because I live my life through quotes. Quotes have helped me out so much in life, bro.
Look at it this way, bro. One of the things that people fail to realize is that you attract what you reflect, right? So the reason why I try to be as raw, why I try to be as real as I can, whether it's sharing my downfalls, whether it's sharing my struggles, my stories, is because I know on the other side of that screen there's going to be somebody that relates. Yeah. Right. So that's why I attracted you, because you've gone through similar certain things. So now when it comes to like your content, don't ever feel like, oh, well, I don't have hundreds or thousands of people engaging with my shit, but you're connecting with the right people, the ones that you actually want as an audience, people that you actually want to build with, people that could potentially be a guest on your podcast, or somebody that you build a relationship with that you end up becoming business partners with, right? That's the mindset that I want people to have. It's not just about, you know, the getting crazy amount of views and engagement. It's about building a quality audience with the right people that are going to actually make an impact in your life.
Right. They say the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Facts, bro. You create those lucky moments.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what? Like I think I was telling somebody, I don't know if it was my girl or not, but I was telling her, like, I know inside of me, I know that there's something special, and by the way, there's something special of everyone, bro. Everybody has a niche. Everybody has a gift, a God-given gift, right? But the thing is that a lot of people are afraid to actually pursue that for whatever reason, right? But for me, I've been receiving that energy, and I know I want to pursue that. Whatever my heart is telling me, I continue striving for that. And I've had like little doors open, right? For instance, like I've met some famous Mexican musician, Janet Valenzuela. I met her in person, met her over in Hollywood. Andy Ruiz reached out. I know you met with Andy Ruiz in the past. I've seen a post that you did with him. He wanted to come pick up his painting, things like that. It was like I've had the doors slightly open, bro, and it's just like, fuck, I just need somebody to fully open the door and like welcome me in.
All it takes is one person, bro.
Exactly.
All it takes is one person, and that's another thing that I want people to take away from this is that there's going to be a lot of times where maybe this great idea that you had didn't end up becoming as fruitful as you thought it was, right?
Yeah.
But as long as you're consistent, there's going to be that one door that opens that you never thought was going to open, and it just ends up being the one that changes everything for you.
You never know, bro.
You never know, but it takes us just one person, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what keeps me going, bro. Like, you just never know. As long as you continue working, only God knows, bro.
Facts,
100%. Only God knows. And I'm continue working, and at the same time, it's like I was telling my girl of that brain surgery thing. She's like, you learn to be appreciative of those small things, you know. And I'm gonna continue working, but at the same time, not forget to live in the moment, you know.
That's the biggest thing, bro, and that's something that I'm currently working on too. As well as like, it's okay to check out completely and just enjoy life and be present and be in the moment, you know what I mean? But a lot of times, like being an entrepreneur, like you have all this stress of like, oh, what if my client reaches out to me, or what if my client needs something? But you need you too.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. And what fulfills Jose, bro? What fulfills you, bro?
Progress.
Yeah.
You know, aside from my kids and that, like, you know, progress is what makes me happy, you know, like knowing that every single day I get to wake up and chip away at that better version of myself. You know what I mean? That maybe by next year I'll be owning, you know, commercial property, or maybe by next year I'll be making $100K a month. Like things like that I know I want to chip away at, that I know I can become, are just tomorrow, the next day, and the next day, you know, and knowing that little progression is eventually going to get me there. That's what makes me happy.
One step at a time, huh?
Yeah, bro, 100%.
Yeah. So you don't have any like hobbies or anything? Like, I know you work out. Would you say that's your hobby or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that like keeps me like mentally clear. It's like my anchor, right? I feel like right now I haven't really been as committed as I know I should, but one of the things that I have been working on is being a little bit of more graceful with myself, right? A lot of times I put so much pressure on myself to the point where it's like, I don't even enjoy it. You know, like I was like, you're not eating your 5 meals a day. You're not training how you need to. You're not doing this. Like, you're not in shape. So I would like beat myself up so much because I have this high expectation of myself, to the point where I was like, I'm not even gonna do this shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? But now it's like understanding that it doesn't have, because in my mind, I competed before, right? Yeah. So in my mind, I'm still stuck in that. I'm still stuck in that consistency and that structure. So when I know that I'm not like that consistent, it mentally messes me up, right? So now it's like, okay, what do you need to do to get back to that, to make it easier now based on your lifestyle,
right?
The new lifestyle that you now have, because I'm still going based on my old lifestyle when I had a job, when that happened, right? So now it's like, okay, pay a meal prep company, get your meals, right? You're going to work out earlier in the day. It might not be your ideal time, but if you really want this, you're going to get up a little bit earlier. What's going to be the benefits? Mental clarity, Do you remember how you used to feel when you were drinking that whole gallon of water? Yes. Okay. Drink that fucking gallon. So little anchors that I'm trying to now adapt to and adjust as I'm growing.
Right.
Now, aside from that, I'm being a little bit more graceful and I'm being like, okay, things have to change.
Right.
It's not gonna go back to that.
Yeah.
You just have to structurize it and put things in place.
And I feel like you have to be a little bit more kind with yourself, right? Because at times it can be draining, bro.
Kind, but not weak.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the times your people around you will be like, it's okay. You look good.
Yeah.
Like this and that. I hate that, bro. Like one of the things about me that people don't know, bro, is that I have a very short, how do I say it? Like, I don't know how to explain it, bro. Like a short, I don't take weakness. I don't accept it.
Okay.
I don't know how to. I don't know like the proper word. Like I have it like right here in my mind, but I don't know how to say it. But it's like I can't. I have a short measure. Not a short measuring stick, but fuck. What's the word, bro? It's like I can't stand mediocrity.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I have like a short temper for it, I guess, if you will. So when somebody that I know that might be out of shape, that internally is affecting them, and somebody's like, well, you don't look that bad.
Gotcha.
Pisses me
Similar
off.
that, and I think you've mentioned this in the past, that all the fucking tools are there, bro.
Every single one of them.
All it takes is to pick up your phone, search whatever you want to learn about, and just do it, right? There's no excuses in life, right? If you really want to do something, everything is there.
You'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
Be like, oh, I don't know how to do this. You think the people who did it before you did?
Yeah.
Like, no. It's like you just have to commit to it. It's
right.
like and it happens across the board. Like sometimes I'll have people, hey, like, how do I grow on social media? I'm like, be consistent. Post, be vulnerable, this and that. The people who do it, they end up getting the results that they want, and the ones that don't are gonna ask me next month how to do it again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's the only difference. That the ones that, because there's no magic formula. Like nobody can guarantee your growth. Nobody can guarantee any of that. But what you can guarantee is like your work and the effort that you're putting into building something. It's like a business. It's like, how do I grow my business? Well, you do this, you track your KPIs, you set up standard operating procedures, you build a team, you scale, you market yourself on social media. Or the other person will be like, how do I grow it? Well, do this, and this. And they don't do it, they'll be like, oh, I can't grow it, so I'm going to go back to job.
Yeah.
It's everybody has the exact same opportunity, but it's just how bad you actually really want it.
Right. Gotcha. And something that you mentioned earlier was something along the lines that kind of like, do you know why I reposted that or whatever? And it's just like, oh, cool. Like now I understand where you're coming from. And I know you posted on your social media about about podcasts or things like that. So can anybody reach out to you?
Yeah. So as of right now, like I'm trying to get on as much podcasts as I can because I'm trying to build my personal brand. One of the things that I've, come to realize by actually doing this for my clients is that as long as you're super consistent, bro, like for my clients, content goes out every single day, sometimes even twice a day. Damn. Right? So it's like, why are you doing this for yourself? You've seen the impact that it's had in their business. You've seen the impact that it's had in their life and in their career. Like, do it for you too, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of times as entrepreneurs, you get so caught up in not treating yourself as if you were your own client. Right. Whether it's in your personal life or in anything, you can be the person that can advocate for your girl to go to the gym and achieve her dream body and, do this, and this. But a lot of times you won't do it for yourself. Right. So that's kind of like the shift that I'm trying to like now, be graceful with myself and knowing like the same way that you treat others, treat yourself. Because yes, even though you can endure it and you're okay with it, you like the pressure, you like the adversity, this and that, you don't need to, right? You have to switch from, I heard this somebody say it, but it's like you have to switch from a hustler to a king. And what's going to take you to being a king is not the exact same things that you're doing as a hustler.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
Before we continue, can I use the restroom real quick?
Yeah, go for it. Do you want me to pause everything? I actually need to take a leak too.
Yeah.
All right, so we had to take a little break.
Little water break.
Yeah. All right, bro. So, I forgot where we left off from. Right now we were talking about Cowles Mountain. I like going to Cowles Mountain just so I can know I still got it. Like we're only getting older, right, bro?
Yeah, for me, like I was telling you, bro, it's just like I have to be okay with like taking time for myself. You know, like I'm still just being go, without realizing that even taking those things that I consider somewhat breaks are going to allow for me to be 10 times better when I'm actually, working.
Yeah. But you were saying, so as of right now, you were saying that anybody can reach out to you for like podcasts and things like that. Is it because like you going to different podcasts, you're going to be able to spread your message to more people?
Spread my message, obviously generate more clips, from this and just be able to put out more content, stuff that's real. You know what I mean? A lot of times, with intentional piece of content, like some people kind of check out,
right?
But when it's like real and organic and conversations like this, people love it, what I mean? And they can actually really connect and impact them.
So I was actually thinking about this earlier, and I feel like I kind of get your point of view, and I know why you kind of do it, but I want to kind of hear from your point of view. Instead of you going to other people's podcasts, like you coming over today, why not do your own podcast? But I started thinking, it's like, instead of him doing all of that, he can easily put himself in a different platform. Like you said, you have your videographer that you'll take clips from. Is that the reason why you're doing that? Or?
Well, I'm going to do both.
Okay.
Right. One is getting on other people's platforms and stuff like that. I don't really mind like the subscriber count or follower count, right? Because like I said, I can still use clips like this and do my own thing. But second, yes, I do plan on having my own. I've actually shot like 2 or 3 already that I just haven't edited, right? Because I just didn't have a team.
Yeah.
So now that I'm building out a team, is like those are things that I'm going to prioritize. It's going to be more of doubling down on my content, my personal brand.
Gotcha.
Because I'm trying to make a push aside from impacting people.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be pumping out content that's more educational for business owners and entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So my goal is 2023 is to hit 100K per month. So knowing where I'm trying to get to, what things do I need to have in place so that I'm that consistent to where it takes me to that.
$100K
per month. Yeah.
Fuck, bro.
100K per month.
Damn, that's fucking crazy, bro.
Because a lot of the times, like, when I first got started in my career, I was like, I just want to make 6 figures a year.
Yeah.
I did that my first year.
Wow.
Right. Then it's like, then I went from making what I used to make in a year to making it in a month when I used to work. Right.
Yeah.
Like for the full year, I started making that per month.
Wow.
So I'm like, now it's like what I dreamed in my career to make a year. I want to do it in a month.
Wow.
Because one of the things that I've kind of experienced is that as I build relationships with like entrepreneurs who are doing way better than me, bro, some of these guys are doing this a day, like 6 figures a day. Right. So because of that, now it's like my mental awareness. It's like, oh, maybe I can.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah. It's giving you different perspectives, right?
Yeah. It makes it really attainable. Right. So now it's like, okay, well, if I was to do this, if I did this, what can I do 100K a month?
Yeah.
So it's like, now that's my goal. Maybe once I make 100K a month, I'll be like, well, now I got to make $1 million in a month.
Yeah.
Maybe I think by then, if I do decide to go after bigger numbers, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I know that at higher levels of your career, it's going to demand a lot more of you. There's going to come a point where I'm not going to want where that sacrifice for reward is not going to be beneficial for me, right? If maybe hitting $1 million per month is going to take X amount of time away from my kids, I don't want that. It's not beneficial for me. If I'm already making 100K per month, like money is not the motive. It is to a certain extent, but once you're able to achieve a certain thing, I feel like anything above that is unnecessary.
It's taking you away from what's really important in life,
exactly.
Right?
So I feel like 100K is going to be that number for me, especially because of all the things that I've been able to learn now. Now it's not so much about how much I leave my kids. It's like, how can I educate them so that this never goes away from them, right? Getting a life insurance policy that if I die, they're going to be able to pay it out. Now I'm able to use a life insurance policy to draw money from that, make investments from that, and be my own bank without having to rely on going to qualifying Wells Fargo, Bank of America, this, and that. So now that I'm more aware, now it's less about money for me, and now it's getting to a point where I feel like I know it's like a place where I know I'll be good financially, and I can make really good moves every couple of months. But now it's about how can I get that so that I can now be with my kids. You know?
Damn, that's freaking dope, man. It's mind blowing just to even hear those numbers, right? So, what's bringing you more income into your personal lifestyle? Is it through social media, YouTube? Is it you actually going creating footage for other entrepreneurs? What's generating the most?
Yeah, so people know me because of social media, right?
Yeah.
But my business is it's a service, right, that I provide for other entrepreneurs.
Right.
So doing that is what really brings in the majority of the money, right? Like YouTube money and all that. Like I wasn't even like putting into the equation like YouTube money or none of that, or brand deals or sponsorships. Like that for me, I don't even think about it, right? We have a family channel LLC, and the money that comes in through whether it's brand deals or YouTube views and all that just goes direct to that. I don't even consider that. Right. So my main thing is providing this as a service for other people. That's where.
Yeah, I'm freaking mind blown, bro. Because it's kind of like I see, like I was mentioning earlier. I watch all these YouTubers that I watch, and they mention all kinds of numbers that they generate. But having somebody that's currently living that lifestyle that I see through a screen, and actually you telling me in person, it's just like, fuck, man, I can't wait to get to that point. Like I wish at one point to get to that point.
And it's a lot easier, bro, than you may think. You know, a lot of it is really just having that self-belief that you can.
Yeah.
Right. So right now, before maybe like a couple months back, if I would have said, oh, I want to make 100K, I'll probably be like, maybe pushing it. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot. You know, might not be possible. But now that, like I said, I've been around people who are really living this and are really doing sometimes even per day. One of my clients, he just got an award for making $5 million in a day. So being around people like that, it's like, damn, if they can do it, like I can too. Right. So those are the little things that have really given me the confidence. And that's why even like when it comes to like social media and just the people around me, bro, like the biggest benefit of being around me isn't the platform that I have, is the information and the knowledge that I have that can get you to where you want to get to in a shorter amount of time. Right. Anybody that comes around me is going to benefit, whether it might be with information, with relationships, with money, whatever the case might be. I know my value, right? So the people that are going to be around me are going to be with me, right? And I'm always, it's just in my nature to want to contribute and to educate people and show them like, fuck, if I can do this, like you can too, and probably even faster. Right. There's this like on the social media aspect of things. This girl who had hit me up a month back, they're like, hey, I want to like, when you drop the course, like I want to buy it and this and that. I was like, cool, you know, but here are some things that you can do right now. You can be consistent, post social. Took off on TikTok.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
So those are like little things. So a lot of times, like I said, it's less about the information. It's more about having the confidence. And then through having that confidence of you taking those action steps, you get the information. And since you already have the confidence, then you start building the momentum. And once you build the momentum, then it's only natural that it's going to come. It's a byproduct of
it. And you know what, as a matter of fact, and I was going to mention this earlier, but I had so many thoughts in my head, right? But when I started building the studio about like 6 months ago, I was kind of like, man, I just want to finish because like I want to create content. I'm in the same page with you that I just want to create because I love it, bro. For some reason, it's embedded in me that I just want to create content. I love being creative. But throughout this journey, I was just like, fuck, man, it's stopped. Building this is stopping me from creating and doing what I love. But you saying yes to coming over and so on and so forth, it sparked and ignited another energy that, like, bro, I'm having him over and creating content with him. Like, so now you gave me that burst of energy to continue growing and like get back at it, you know?
And I'll give you even something better. You don't need to have a lot of subscribers to be able to monetize this, right?
Right.
Let's say you want to hit, let's just say 10K per month off of doing podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Well, now you can offer this service as a service to people who are in business that might want content, but they don't want to hire a videographer, have on a retainer, or whatever the case might be, right? You can say, hey, you know what? Like if you're somebody that wants to create content that seems organic, I'll come in, we'll spend an hour with you, 2 hours. I'll come up with the questions. We'll pre-plan that. I'll bring my camera, I'll bring my lighting, I'll bring my equipment, everything. We'll sit down for an hour or two. You'll have about 30 to 40 pieces of content that you can put out. You can do a long format, but also you're going to have short form content that you can post on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and Facebook Reels to promote your businesses. I can do that on a retainer for $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month. You only need 5 people if you get at $2,000.
Fuck.
Now you're making 10K off of this, right? While you can still take time and build your own platform and do everything that you want. You know?
So you mentioned Facebook ads and things like that. So are people making money out of those Facebook ads, or are people making money out of offering those, I guess, services for people? So how does, or both?
So yeah, you can do both, right?
Okay.
So if, for example, like if you're a business owner that, you know, provides a service, obviously you promoting and running ads on Facebook and Instagram is going to attract clients, right? So you generate money through that. But then also too, if you want to just do it for building a platform, building a social media account, whatever, then you can also do that too, and then just monetize off the platforms. But the part that the reason why I go my route is because it's what I do, right? I make more money leveraging social media to bring in more clients so that I can provide them that service than I actually do off of social media.
Right.
You know, so there's two ways, right? And the majority of the times people get so caught up with wanting to build a following, wanting to build a platform, and they get discouraged when they don't, without realizing that you don't need to have X amount of followers in order for you to make, let's say 10K is your goal, to make $10,000 a month. Like I just gave you a perfect plan without you even having subscribers.
Right, exactly.
Of how to have a successful podcast. Fucking charge people, offer it as a service.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's say down the road you maybe don't want to do it as a service anymore, but now you've gotten that momentum to where that has allowed you to bring in more views and more subscribers to you, where you're now making money from that. Then you can scratch the offering as a service, but you've leveraged that to get to that, right? It's like, yes, I'm a content creator and I provide it as a service. Well, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, right? But I'm using this as like a stepping stone so that when I get X amount of markers, well, now I'm going to put that into commercial property. Now I'm going to put that into acquiring assets that I no longer have to trade my time for. Right. So you just have to be intentional and know workarounds in terms of like other ways that will get you the exact same result. Right.
Exactly. So just setting you up for the future, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. Is there sorry, I had a lot of different things that I didn't even mention, bro, because I feel like everything's been organic, and that's exactly what I wanted to do, and just wanted to make sure that I hit everything that I wanted to. But I think, to be honest, without even having like the notes going off based on the notes, I think we've hit everything. But is there anything right now, any advice or anything that we haven't mentioned that you're currently want to share, or anything that you would want to offer to people, anything, whatever you want?
Yeah, I think, I mean, as just something of like a value, like if you're somebody that wants to change your life, like you can change it within a matter of months. You know, it's just you having the commitment to seek the right information so that you're actually able to take those actionable steps that are going to get you there. You know, and the shortest form of, there's this quote that I always say, it's like the only real shortcut to success is finding somebody that has already gotten to where you want to get to, pay them, and then they'll get you to that faster, right? So a lot of times people are fearful of investing into mentors because I think in our culture, we have to deal with a lot of people sort of like selling us fake dreams. You know, for example, like MLM stuff. I don't know if you ever had to go to an uncomfortable meeting where it's like, oh, you think it's one thing, but the reality is they're trying to sell you on something. So
right.
You know what I mean? Yes. So I personally have gone through those experiences. So I feel like I always have to try and over-explain what I do because I don't want people to think that this is something like that. Right. But when you do find the right mentors, there are really good people out there that legit have really good programs that you can pay on anywhere from $497 all the way to $997 on their initial programs that can get you to $10K a month. But you just have to be willing to put up that initial investment and commit to doing the work.
And out of so many life coaches out there, so on and so forth, how do you find the right one?
There's a really good quote that one of my clients and friends, Herman, says, success has receipts.
Okay.
So because of that, the easiest way for you to see who's really real is to see what people are saying about them. The people who have already tried and gone through whether it's their course, their mentorship, their services, whatever the case might be, success has receipts, right? So based on what other people have experienced and their results that they've been able to get, then you can make that judgment. You know, there are a lot of people that will try to sell you on a lifestyle. Don't go at it based on that specific person's lifestyle. Go at it based on the lifestyle and the results that their clients have had. People who have experienced them prior to you, see what they got going on, and that's how you're able to make that separation.
So would you say like reviews, things of that sort? Because at times people can be like, those reviews are freaking paid for.
Yeah. So no, one of the things that I've been able to learn being in the space that I'm at right now is that when somebody has actually built a really good community, you'll see their community actively engage on their social media, actively engage and wanting to defend themselves when people run ads. The first thing that's going to happen when somebody runs ads, be like, oh, you're a scammer. Oh, you're this, and that. But you'll actually see their community members be like, no, like I actually did this and it took me from making this to this, or it took me from here to here, right? Those are little things that make the world of a difference when you're trying to find the right mentor, you know?
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, so, I feel like we're going to take this as an experiment, bro. We're going to make me earn $10K a month,
yeah, bro. I'm telling you, bro, like even I was having this conversation with my mom. Somebody that she knows was making like, I think like $87K a year. My mom was like, oh, gana muy bien dinero. She's like, $87K. I'm like, Mom, like, you know what I mean? You're barely getting started at $87K. I mean, at $87K a year.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But it's, again, knowing the actionable steps. Like I legit just told you, like an actionable step that if you take every single day, you're reaching out to somebody because right now, bro, people need content.
Yeah.
People like myself, other business owners. And I'm not telling you this based off of theory, right? I have people pay me month per month, $5,000 per month, $10,000 per month, $4,000 per month, different retainers at different prices based on what they need. So this is like everything that I'm telling you is stuff that I know works.
So they're paying this much just for content creating, bro?
Mm-hmm. For content creation.
And
because they need it. Because also too, you got to realize that there's certain niches, like somebody who has maybe like a taco shop or like a low ticket thing where they sell like low ticket item, they might not be your client because they're not going to be able to afford that $2,000 per month, $1,500 per month. It doesn't make sense for them. But for somebody who's selling real estate, for example, like their commission checks are $8,000, $10,000, blah, blah. So imagine you're charging them, let's say on the low end, $2,000 per month, but based on what you're doing for them as a service, with that content, they're able to get one client.
Yeah.
That one client pays for you.
Yeah, you know what? I hadn't even thought about that, bro. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. Whatever you paid for it, whatever that's going to be freaking pocket change. So you're
free.
Yeah. It paid for itself.
100%.
That's insane, bro. I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah, so once you're able to educate people on that perspective of like, I'm not costing you. Like, I'm making you money.
Yeah.
Like, upfront, maybe that $2,000 upfront cost is going to cost you per se, or that's an investment. But just know that within the next 30 to 60 days, you're going to see that money back. And tenfold. So
now let me ask you this: how do you price your services? Like let's say for something that I've had a problem with, right? I do artwork here and there, but to be honest with you, I want to come into doing artwork because I just love it, bro. Like I hate it when people are like, hey, can you customize this for me because like somebody's relative or whatnot. And it's just like when it becomes like a job, I dislike it, bro. I just like doing it because I just want to sit down on my free time and do artwork, right? But at times when I have done it, I really struggle on how to price certain things. I was going to ask you, like, how do you determine your prices?
It changes, you know. It depends on like your workflow. Some of the things that I base it off on is my workflow and how does it align with what I'm currently going and my goals, right? For example, if somebody hits me up and is like, hey, I need this type of video, but it's not really what I'm focused on right now, I'd much rather just be like, no, I don't want it. Or I'm going to be like, oh, I'm going to charge even more for it, right? If it's going to take me out of my way, then I'll go ahead and do that. But I mean, for art, it's completely different. Yep. You know, it's subjective. It's like, you know how much time it takes for the amount of effort that it takes, the tools that you're going to need for it and all that. And then like, what do you think you're worth? You know what I mean? Like, I know for what you made for me, that could easily be like a $300 to $500 like, you know, canvas. Yeah. You know, I know that shit took time. Like time for you. A lot of times people make this mistake, and I was telling this to somebody the other day. The exact same amount of effort that is going to take for you to make a $10 profit to $20 profit is going to be the exact same amount of effort that's going to take for you to make a $1,000 or $2,000 profit. But a lot of times in our mind, we're always like, oh, pues, ¿quién te va a regalar $100? Yeah. Pues, ¿quién te va a regalar 50? Like, no, like, that's not how it works. Like, you really have to be in it for margins, right? If you're going to take time away from your family, if you're going to take time away from everything else that you could be doing, to commit to doing something for somebody, like make sure you price accordingly.
Right. And that's the way that I'm kind of looking at things now. It's just kind of like whatever time I'm going to take away, I want to make sure that I'm getting at least what I get paid at work, what I currently do for a living. And at the same time, since I'm doing it now from my own personal time, I want to make sure that I'm covered for that, you know, and that it's something really that I enjoy doing more than anything. But that's something really that I've always struggled with. So I was kind of curious how you come about it. And do you research what other videographers are currently doing, or?
It's kind of hard, right? Because if for like a traditional videographer, then you can kind of get ideas in terms of like what they're charging and this and that.
Yeah.
But my niche and what I'm doing is more on like reels and short form content. So it's like a new thing, right?
Yeah.
So people can't really, there's really not a lot of people that are actually doing it how it should be done, that can say, oh, I can go based off of that pricing or this and that. But one of my base ones is you get about 20 to 25 reels short form content, like in a podcast setting like this, or outdoor, however the client feels the most comfortable with, for 5,000, right? The reason being is because how I structure it is you're going to get 2 videos that are going to be specifically for ads, so you can run as campaigns to generate you more business. You're going to have 2 retargeting videos, which retargeting basically means that whenever you run a promotion on Facebook, if it's video, you can build an audience off of that. So once you pull the data off of that audience, you create a retargeting video based on the people that watched it, let's say 50% of the way, right? Because if somebody watched your video 50% of the way, more than likely they have an interest in what you got going on, whether it's real estate, whether it's, art, whether it's whatever you're trying to sell. They have a higher interest in it, right? So now your retargeting video is just affirming who you are. Explain to them, hey, like I noticed that you watched my video. If you have any further questions, or here's a 10% discount code if you're fearful about this and that, or being the first time I'm trying to build a relationship. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a little bit more in detail. And then from there, the other material is content that's based on reaffirming who that person is. Whether it can be client testimonials, whether it can be educational video, because the first thing that somebody is going to do once they see your ad is they're going to go back to your account and be like, let's see if this guy is really who he appears to be, right?
Exactly. So, all right. So, sorry, I'm over here talking for all right. So, little camera died. We're pretty much going to get ready to wrap everything up. I'm going to flip the camera right now so Jose can say the final words and just pretty much wrap it up. And we're going to give something special for the people that made it this far. You guys are going to be able to comment something or let Jose know that you made it this far, enjoyed the content, enjoyed his words, and more than anything, his time that he took from his busy schedule. And I'll let him give the final details on what you guys need to do. If you made it this far, you guys are going to get something special. So I'm going to flip the camera and give it to him so he can take it from there. Sorry. Let me get you focus.
Huh?
All right, bro. So, final words for the people that made it this far, bro.
Yeah. So first, congratulations to you for sticking all the way through. A lot of the times, like, people don't have the ability to really invest time into themselves. So the fact that you stuck all the way through watching this episode means that you are committed to, achieving that next level of your life. So one of the things that I want to do for you, that we're actually doing for you, we just came up with it right now, literally, is whoever. I have a network called the Creator Network. It's a free Facebook group that you can join. He'll probably put my link in the description. Click that, go on the link in my bio, sign up to join the Creator Network. And in the description of like what it is that you're trying to accomplish, put that you came from this podcast, and the first, let's say 5 people that come from this, I'll actually give them free access to the course, the community that I'm building. So you'll have lifetime access and all that for you. So
damn, that's freaking huge, bro. I appreciate that. So since the camera's on your end, I'll let you finish it off, bro. Once again, thank you for taking the time, bro. Man, this is surreal for me, so I value that very much, bro.
No, so thank you for having me, bro. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your time too as well, and I'm excited to see what's next for you, man.
Have them say "Hoy no más," bro.
So that what'll be that in the description, put like "Hoy no más," and that'll be
cool.
The cue.
All right. Well, once again, thank you, bro. Any final words?
Nah, I'm just grateful. I think one thing that I want to make very clear is that everybody is capable of changing their life. You just have to commit to it. Know that it's possible for you. It's not that far out of reach. Just put yourself in the right environment. It's literally little adjustments that you make along your life that can ultimately change your life completely. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm grateful. I'm happy that I was able to share a couple more of value. If you guys want to see more of me, learn a little bit more about me, you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Your Social Media Guy. Also the same thing on TikTok. I'll be putting out a lot more content daily out there. So hope to see you guys over there, and let's get it.
Cool. Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.